You just never know. You've been through all of these things and it's building you and grinding on you, working on you. And you can choose to do one of two things. You could either roll over and let it take you out, or you can fight and get through it. How many times have you thought that, you weren't going to be able to afford the house payment, or you're not going to be able to pay the light bill, or unexpected something happened and now your savings is gone? You've been through hard times in which you thought that you would never get through. How am I ever going to get through this? How many times have you said that in your life? Time doesn't go backwards. It only goes forward. You can never get it back. And as you go through life, you really start to think about that a lot more. As you get older, you've been through a bunch of different things. You start to see when, with each day, you need to make it more valuable. And what I mean by make it more valuable is what you put into it every day. Because let's be honest, you're only getting older. Things start to go downhill as the older you get. Physically, mentally, emotionally, sometimes spiritually. And that's what I've come to realize. One of the biggest eye-opening things that I heard this past year, in 2024, as I am creeping in on 40, is that we have a finite amount of time in this life. And that really it made me stop and think about it. Because when you think about that, it really puts things in perspective. Because it makes you realize the time that you don't have anymore. So the first 38 years of my life, I see it as a growth time where you're just growing, when you're a kid and you're growing up through high school and college, those years. And then I see a work time where you're ironing out all of the little details of who you are and what you are, what you stand for, what you're wanting to build. Are you wanting to build a business, a family? What your priorities are, what your virtues are, what your core values are, what's important to you, and what's important to you in the order of importance. All these things I started to think about. Then I started to think about, as I'm getting close to 40, I'm starting to think about halftime. You stop and think about it, 40, and from what I'm starting to see, is probably the sweet spot in life. I call it halftime because, 40 and 40 is 80. Wait, how are you going to be an 80? Hopefully you're doing well at 80. But I feel like 40 is the sweet spot. And like I said, I'm not there yet, but I'm got a year to go. But 40, you've gone through the really big, hard trials and tribulations, it's kind of formed you to who you are. It's made you come to realize what's important to you. And it makes you realize what those virtues are, those core values are. And it really kind of puts you together. You've been through hard times in which you thought that you would never get through. How am I ever going to get through this? How many times have you said that in your life? How many times have you thought that, you're going to be able to afford the house payment, or you're going to be able to pay the light bill, or unexpected something happened and now your savings is gone, or your kid gets sick. You don't know if your child's going to be able to walk again. I've been there. You just never know. You've been through all of these things and it's building you and grinding on you, working on you. And you can choose to do one or two things. You can either roll over and let it take you out, or you can fight and get through it. And I've come to realize at this point in life that all these things are for a reason. These things are to build you, to make you better, make you grow, to make you realize that you can get through these things, so that the next time it rolls around again, you're better equipped to handle these problems and these issues. And you can do it. And you do it. You take it on the chin, you say, okay, I've done this before, get through it. Roll, keep rocking until the next thing. Because that's how life is, man. You're going to have time after time. You're going to have tribulation and trial over and over and over. That's part of life. As you grow, as you get older, you develop wisdom. And it's just, but at the end of it all, here's the cool part. You get to decide how you live it out. You get to decide what you do with it. Do you take those trials and tribulations and what you learn from it and apply it down the road to get better at it, to overcome it quicker, so you can keep moving forward and keep advancing and getting better? Or do you play the role of a fool and do not learn from it and have it happen over and over and over again? You have the ability to make those decisions. No one else can do that for you. And that's the beauty of this. This is what I'm saying. At this point in my life, I find this extremely gratifying, knowing that I've got these options. I have the options of making my future. All of these options to be able to help others, help y'all, help my children, help my wife in any way through the times and tribulations that I've been through. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm thankful for it. So, anyway, I hope this serves you. And hopefully, this will help you get to the next part. Until next time.